Hi everyone, my name is Brooks. I saw this question. It's an organic synthesis question. Actually, it's 7 questions in one. Um, and basically, it wants us to show how to create these products from the indicated starting material. So there's a lot here. I'm not going to do all of them. I figured I would pick one and work through it. And then in about 5 minutes, you can do about one. So I'll do one at a time, and I may post these sort of in sequence. So let's start out with the first one there. And it says, can you write the structural formulas and names for all the reactants and products to produce the desired products? Number one is propanal from an alkene. So let's work through that. I'm going to flip over to another screen here so you can see how we draw these structures out. Okay, so propanal from an alkene. So the first thing to know is what propanal is. So prop means three, like propane, and the al suffix indicates an aldehyde. So it'll be 3 carbons, 1, 2, 3 carbons, and it'll end in an aldehyde. So we need to make propanal, and our starting material has to be an alkene. So what we're going to do is work through a process called retrosynthetic analysis, where we take a look at the product and we think, we imagine if we had something else that we could convert into this. So if we went one step backwards in the synthesis, what kind of molecule could we have? Well, this is a double bonded to an O. So when you look at this, you could think, I know if I had an alcohol here, I can oxidize an alcohol up to an aldehyde. That's one of the reactions you learn in organic class. So theoretically, you can say, if this were an alcohol, I know I could get it to the carbonyl. So that'd be one step. All right, so now we're here. We still don't have the desired starting material, which is an alkene, but we have a primary alcohol, and go one step further back, we can get a primary alcohol from an alkene. Now this OH group is in the anti-Markovnikov position. It's on the primary carbon, not the secondary carbon. So we have to know what reagents we would use on this to convert it to this. And to take the alcohol to the aldehyde and stop it oxidizing at the aldehyde and not keep going to the carboxylic acid also requires us to know what reagents to use. So let's get started. Let's do it in the forward reaction now. So if you start with the alkene, which is what the question wanted us to start with, we need to know what reagents to use to get it to be this primary alcohol. So if we just added, say, H2SO4 and water, then we would get the Markovnikov hydration. We'd have the secondary OH. So you may remember a reaction called hydroboration oxidation, which uses, it's a two-step reaction. Starts out with BH3 and THF, which is tetrahydrofuran. And the second step is a basic oxidative workup using in water, using hydrogen peroxide. That's how you get the primary alcohol, the anti-Markovnikov. Okay, so now we have this primary alcohol. I've drawn in just one of those H's to kind of make the structure look familiar, but realize that obviously that carbon is a tetrahedral carbon. It's got 2 H's there. So now the question is, how do we get this to go to our final product, which is propanal? So we're going to oxidize this O up to a carbonyl. And there are different ways to do that. The one that is most commonly learned in organic chemistry class, and it's something, basically a reaction you have to memorize, is using pyridinium chlorochromate. Often we just abbreviate that PCC, and that's typically done in a solvent like methylene chloride. For those interested out there, PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate. Here's pyridinium, and then chlorochromate. agent to know. All right, so here's the retrosynthetic analysis, where we go stepwise backwards, and here's the actual synthesis, where we put it all together with the appropriate reagents. You can see these do take some time and thought, and they require quite a bit of understanding of the reagents, and you definitely have to know some of the structural stuff, and knowing mechanisms goes a long way. So that's number one. That's propanal from an alkene, and I will post sort of a series where I'll just work through these things and post them on there. So thanks for listening. Feel free to drop me a line anytime if you're looking for tutoring in organic chemistry. I love it. I would be happy to help. Just shoot me a message. All right, take care.